Shalom Barak. It's time for a party. This party is called #mood and #mode. Warning, I don't want to cause any seizures. Flashing lights. This beat is brought to you by Raw Heights. Rawheights.com. Name of that song is End Game. ENDGAME. This one's for the fans. This one's only for fans. Have you located your seatbelt yet? We're about to take a ride. Gonna let a couple of songs play through and then we'll get this party started. We meet up 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time daily, except for Shabbat, to speak on entrepreneurship and service in your community. We have 10 different special interest groups that we speak on. Each has their own perspective concerning organic marketing strategies. Today's special interest group is Ground Floor Intellect. Let's see here. A couple things I'm trying to get together before we get these things cranked up. When we discuss ground floor intellect, we look at all possibilities of exploration. Some of you know a little bit about exploring Web 2. We get together to talk about Web 3. All things cryptocurrency, encrypted, and Web 3. Those are actually networks that use cryptocurrency in order to move their information back and forth. Moving your information back and forth is what you would call moving data along the blockchain. I like this vibe right here. We're gonna listen to this vibe. Got some water heated up for my instant coffee cha-cha-cha. Exploration. So today we're going to talk about that. Back in the 1800s into the 1900s, we were walking into the industrial age. Mid 1900s into the 2000s, it went from assembly lines to streamline to the point of then it became an information age. And now it's information exchange. For every bank or of finance, they have their own internal secured network. There's computer systems in all of the different corporations you've heard of. They all have private secured networks. You've heard of going to Wall Street and finding stocks in different companies and corporations. That means there's the actual standing corporation, and you can invest in their name and their what's the word I'm looking for? Starts with an R. Their reputation. Investing in stocks is investing in the reputation of a name. And then there's whatever product that company happens to serve to the community. So you can invest in buying the product itself while you also have invested in stocks. So every time that company increases in value, you get a certain percentage out of it. Stock market basics. There's more to it than that. But that's stock market basics, right? Now that company still has its private network. And even though you bought some stock and you bought some product, that doesn't allow you access to their secured network. You are not registered as an individual with a fingerprint that registers on the blockchain of their network, unless it is another count where you are holding stock and things have gone up in increments or they have decreased. And so whatever's assigned to your name, there will be a record of that. Now, can you move to and fro in there? Can you communicate with people? That depends on the benefits that will come with a portfolio, including said stock. What benefits will come with that? It's not too often that you are granted such benefits to go into secured files and secured networks just because you've invested in a company. Now imagine a company that's open to the public and everyone who is actually using that network has access to see all of the movement that's going on in that network. Any person using this network can actually assign an electronic wallet, an e-wallet to their profile. So not only can they earn, accumulate, grow cryptocurrency on that network, they can pay in and influence and invest in others on that same network. Giuseppe Lapore, Bienvenido. Shalom Barak to you. Peace and blessings. Great. Having a great day. I pray you are as well. Bienvenido. Welcome to you. Today we're about to be discussing exploring a Web3 environment and using it to your advantage. Not just going and starting up an e-wallet and investing in whatever coin you see out there that looks like it's moving in a path that makes you get rich quick, because that's not what it's about. It doesn't really work that way. Cryptocurrency doesn't work the same as stock, although they are the same. It's been said that the stock market is influenced by the emotions of the investors. It's influenced by the emotions of the execs who run whichever company the stock represents. Now, if that's the case, what's the real value? If they wake up one day and they decide that their product is not all that worthy, even though it may have ranked up real high in profits, if they just decide to sell out from under everyone and collect their gains, does that give everyone else that same margin? Not if everyone else loses out. So what we're looking at is a decentralized form of investment. What's all that have to do with ground floor intellect? If you went to Wall Street, downtown New York City, you're going to see a lot of skyscrapers, a lot of tall buildings. Each of those buildings has a ground floor. No matter which floor you are trying to go to in that building, at some point, you will have to approach the ground floor. Oh, but what about fire escapes and such? Sure. Okay. Yeah. The point is, the building's foundations is standing on the ground floor. To any point or destination afterwards, you have to start somewhere. Ground floor intellect would show you the foundation that the umbrella of Highest Heights Studio covers. I want to give a shout out to everyone who tunes in, whether you're on YouTube land or TikTok land, because we are simultaneously casting today. We're rocking and rolling. You see, we were rocking and rolling before the electric guitar. We were rocking and rolling before that first boat that nobody wants to talk about. We were rocking and rolling because we were already on boats, visiting and casting nets, traveling. So that's the reason why we get together and talk about entrepreneurship. You see, we were doing that before Wall Street. We were doing that before the industrial age. We were doing that before the Renaissance. Before Kemet. Before Assyria, before Sumeria. It's been a while. How do I know we were on boats? Because there's a legend about a family that was on a boat. That's how I know. Just I got to do it exploring. Well, you see, when that family landed on the top of a mountain, call it an island at the moment until the waters receded. And the sons of that family went out to see what was going on. They went exploring. They found 7 islands. 3 of those islands had occupants that said, hey, we will agree with your standard in life. 3 islands said, we will think about it. And then 1 island said, we absolutely do not agree with anything you're talking about. So they went back to report to their father. Their father told them, spend time amongst those who did definitely agree with you. Consider those who said that they would consider it from a distance. And stay away from those who have disagreed with you completely. Imagine that being the code that you see when you walk through the front doors and you're standing in the lobby. That's the code that you see. Just real simple and straightforward. Exchange with those who agree with you. Consider those who only want to consider what you say from a distance. And those who do not agree with you, keep your distance. Easy rules. That would basically keep you amongst like-minded individuals at all times. It's pretty much what you're trying to do. What does all that have to do with cryptocurrency and blockchains and networks? Quite simple. When you broadcast on TikTok, or when you broadcast on YouTube, or when you broadcast on Facebook, Twitter, X, Twitch, any of them, yes, you have access for broadcasting, but you do not have access for behind the scenes. You have access to post. Can you invest in your friends and family? Can you invest in yourself because of your Facebook profile? Do you have stock in Facebook since you've registered with your Gmail address? Do you have stock with Google since you have registered a Gmail address? Have they given you a coin to work with? Or are they always just asking you to pay some more money for a subscription? Selah. It sounds a little bit better than elevator music. So, going through the lobby of Highest Heights Studio building. And this lobby is ground floor, Intellect, where you're going to meet individuals who will ask you, what's your plan of action? What's your name? What's your authority? What do you do? Tell us about yourself. If you had a resume, what does your resume say? Do you have a boss? Oh, you fired your boss? And now you've hired yourself and you're ready to extend your services. Oh, that's great. So the next step is we're going to turn that resume into your business proposal. So yes, we definitely need to see all of your skills and even the things that you know about yourself that could be sharpened. We're going to apply it all. We are going to apply it all, inshallah, Adon willing. That's the plan. You step forward and you say, hey, this is what I can do. We review it. And then we move forward, actually telling the world, hey, this is what you do. Now let's find a way to make sure that you are securing a livelihood doing so. And then you put something back for the rest of the kingdom and the community so that we all can grow. And then the next person actually gets some fuel from seeing you step out and accomplish what it is that you are doing. Not only that, other people are standing along with you. Everybody is growing, not just one. not just in one factor, not just in one section. Everybody grows. Because even if you have a certain talent, it doesn't mean that that's all you do is just focus on, well, I got to put this talent out. You find other ways to use it, not just from how you can benefit in your pockets or onto the table. You find ways to just go ahead and hand it over to the next person who needs it. Because even if they can't return to you, they might find someone else who also needs that exchange. Take yourself out of the mindset that you've been programmed into one who sees every other being as a human being instead of a commodity. Human beings are compassionate. Androids and cyborgs lack compassion. That's why you can rule them with cyborgs, uh, logic, cyborg programming, and language. Now, hold on, man. You just went in the year 2512 on us. Yeah, you're right. Because right now we have individuals on the internet who use robot personalities. So the idea is to prove that you are authentic and then offer something legitimate. If you've heard of a network called The Social World, raise your hand. If you've heard of an app called Diamond App, raise your hand. Around the halfway mark in this presentation, I will switch over to TikTok to see what's going on because I am not seeing the comments right now. I can't. So I'll look over there and see what's happening. So, yes, this is a hypothetical question. Of course. Can't raise your hand. I mean, you could respond, but we're not using that part of the technology right now. So, here you go. The Social World is a Web3 network. It's a community. It's been established to where there are different applications on there that you can use. Instead of Facebook, there's Diamond App. Instead of Twitter X, there's The Social World. You can post on The Social World and then share your link to Twitter X and Facebook. When you post to The Social World, it also posts to Diamond App and also another site called Focus. All three of these platforms are intertwined. They are interdependent. The original network was established by The Social World. It's been around about 4 or 5 years, well, probably 5 or 6 years now at this point. It has to have been because I joined in. It will make the 4th year this fall for me. I have watched a crypto coin called DESO, DESO, never fall below the value of $4. I've seen it maintain at $8 most times. Right now, it's cruising at $5 for one coin. I've seen it top out at $12. I've seen it top out at $16. I've seen it top out at $20. I'm watching a young coin in the making. Years ago, Bitcoin was established, and that wasn't its first name. I think the guy who started it, his name was Satoshi or something like that. Satoshi. And he introduced the idea of actually having value to units that you could move as data, save as currency, because every time you're moving files and information, that's actually worth something because you're putting forth effort and it equals work because there are results after the effort. That's work. So he was devising a way to make sure that you could be paid for digital executions, meaning uh, if you moved a digital image or a digital audio file or a text document, whatever the case may be, sharing a file or a folder, the same way that people were saving and moving information on college campuses and hospitals and things like that. He saw the value in exchanging credit cards and debit cards and gift cards. That's how the paper check became the plastic card. That's how the credit card went from the machine that would mimeograph a carbon copy or press it out to you swipe with a magnet and it reads binary codes that lets a person know what is in your account. In the 80s, even before Satoshi came with the concept, was already here. It was just a matter of finding a way to make it available to the public. Think about it. There was a time where you could gain money from digging up minerals and metals out of the dirt, or you could go and just exchange your time for an IOU. Either way, you would end up with a so called equivalency. The IOU would be worth so much measure of gold or silver that you were supposed to be paid. You go and you start up a plot somewhere and you have dug up some gold nuggets and you take them in and exchange them at the bank. Now you have bills, green bills that are IOUs. So when you go and exchange at the general store or wherever you want to get your supplies and things, you give them an IOU, or you could just walk straight into the door with a gold nugget. So today we're in the age of information exchange, and the nuggets are information, your consuming habits, your productivity. These are the nuggets, information. Silla. Let me see here. We're at the 33, 32-minute mark. I would say we started around 10 minutes after the hour. So we're 20 minutes away from the top of the hour. How many of you out here have assembled your business proposal? For everyone who is considering, oh, I want to start a business, have you written it out? When you tell someone, hey, I want to start a business, what ideas do you have behind that? Not just I want to start a business or I want to sell so and so. Okay, that's great. And then people want to ask you, okay, well, what's your location and da 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 da. What your legal structure going to be as far as form of management? What will be your overhead? Considering what materials will you need in order to furnish your product? Will you need a location for storage as well as a physical cash register, a place that holds a counter? Have you explored things like the swipe, the card swipes and all that kind of stuff? You can get those apps for your digital devices, mobile devices. How much have you explored the digital shops that are offered? Shopify. Have you considered starting up your own website and using it as your shop? Have you established a domain? So your domain, that's your ground floor. Because then you add on all of the different other profiles that you have from different platforms, from the different social media platforms. You add them on as different pages on your domain site. Your domain site has all of your information. You might have 3 or 4 different pages dedicated to what's going on that website on your domain. That's your address. That's your main address. Everybody can find you there. Now, what you attribute to that, all of the links that you add into that. So you might start with 3 pages. And if you have 9 social media sites that you are using, 3 of them might be video streaming, 3 of them might be audio, and then the other 3 might be for communication, for you to be able to speak back and forth with other people, whether it's blogs or it's direct messages or if it's sharing posts. That means you could basically set up 3 pages, one for your audio streaming profiles. You can embed your YouTube channel with a window that guides someone back to things that can play what is on your YouTube channel. You can put that in your domain. You can choose a page specified for video streaming. So that's where you would put your YouTube streaming. If you have audio, where it's music, and then you do have it on Spotify and places like that, you embed the widget or the player on those pages on your website. Then you share the link. Here, check out my audio. If you like to use SoundCloud, if you like to use Spotify, if you like to listen in on Deezer or iHeart or whichever one, if you are a producer looking for other people who want to use your music, do you use Audio Mac? You can find my music there. And the whole time that I'm listing off these names, these are also places where you can find my work. When you go to one streaming site and they say there's a curator there, well, can you find this curator in other places, influencing in other sites? Because, see, that's what would make me want to pay attention. This person actually goes across to different platforms. That's XAAS, cross platforms as a system. That's part of SEO, search engine optimization, meaning that you would find every way possible for people to find you if they were to type in anything related to your content. That means that they're not going to just find you on YouTube. They're going to find you all over the place because you're making sure that each of those platforms, each of those profiles has a prominent tag, the hashtags and the tags where you are describing what's going on in your content. Each time you upload something, you should describe it because then in the details, describe it in the details. Because then when someone is searching for that topic, they may not be looking for you specifically. They may not know you exist. But if you put those details in, it gives the search engine something to look for. It will look for those specific words that you have put in the details and description. And then you would assign hashtags along with certain words in the description so that they would become the first immediate things to find when the search engine is doing its duty. Saeed Ahmed, Assalamu alaikum. Yes, I remember you. It's great to see you. It's Tabat to see you. It's constitutional to see you. I'm glad you made it in. We're talking about exploring Web3. We're talking about using your domain, your website, WordPress, Wix, um, Squarespace, whichever one you want to use. Your domain is the beginning of your hub. We're talking about ground floor intellect because ground floor intellect would be the ground floor of the building that represents the headquarters for Highest Heights Studio. You could either go downtown New York and see the tall skyscrapers, or you can imagine a digital landscape, a virtual reality landscape where there is a skyscraper. And on the front of it, it says HHS, Highest Heights Studio. And inside of it, there's at least 10 floors, and those 10 floors are dedicated to 10 special interest groups. Now, that doesn't mean that that's it. There could be 20 floors, there could be 30 floors, because this is a virtual reality building. It could actually not even be floors going up, it could be annexes. There could be 10 annexes coming out of the ground floor unit. All right? Because when you're not looking at it as a skyscraper, we're also looking at a virtual reality island where you have 10 different communities who work together and they actually subsist together, and the island maintains just fine because everyone interacts. They exchange goods, products, and services. Just vibing to the music for a second. Don't know if you can hear it because it's coming from the television in the other room. Most people, when you tell them to do navigation concerning anything on the internet, people will tell you, "Oh, I don't know anything about computers. I don't know anything about phones. I just know how to turn it on and turn it off. I can send a text message here and there." I don't buy that. There are too many jobs that people have now where you have to be computer savvy. The majority of jobs now, you have to know something about software and how to navigate through software. There are very few people that don't know how to at least start up a Facebook profile. Start up an Instagram profile, a TikTok profile. And you thinking you're doing something because you got that one. I've logged in and this is like I can go and watch my favorite TV shows. I want to get lost in something and lose an hour or two of the day, or I might even find some information and go log in over here and I can do that. Okay. Now the next idea is use it to your advantage. You can log in over there and you can have people pay attention to what you're doing because everyone is rushing to find a way to get the next viral video. Oh, if I can get 1 million views, think of the celebrity and the status and possible payouts and dividends by getting a viral video. Who gets paid in viral videos? What happens to the platforms when viral videos become a norm and the platforms have to pay the content creators who are actually generating such things? How about there's already a payoff pool? X amount of money is allotted for X amount of entertainers to be granted exposure. So if you have a sound in your viral video that hasn't been registered and you have these images and video that hasn't really been registered, you can be in front of 1 million people and it serves no purpose except you're that person that was seen on a video 1 million times. And then you become a marketing ploy of someone else saying, hey, your celebrity status is because you were in the limelight, not because you actually own anything or were authorized to stand on something. So we're not here to grab the bag. We're not here for the get rich quick schemes. We're here for the long haul. We don't post what's trending. We post what's mending. That's ground floor intellect. Do you have a snarky kind of mindset? When someone says something to you, do you have a quick response, a quick witted and sometimes sarcastic response? When someone gives you a suggestion, do you have something that might be a little better and efficient? Are you willing to share it? Now, snarky doesn't mean be rude or disrespectful. It just means that if someone were to walk up to you and said, the lazy red fox jumped over the brown dog, you would laugh and you say, QWERTY much? Because that's code. I told you I needed a cup of Java so I can go speak to Chicago Joe. It really does mean I need some coffee. And really, Chicago Joe is the one whose brainchild ground floor intellect is. So I look forward to the day when Joe and I are sitting around drinking coffee and we have a few people who are experts in Java and Python and other type uh, language models. I'll be happy the day that we're talking about how they're developing kernels and nodes so that we have our own network going, where we are pushing information along blockchains and it represents this network that was established as a safe place on Web3 for those who are actually striving for excellence and finding ways to apply themselves in the kingdom of Yahweh Elohim. Oh, wow, where'd that come from? There's a curveball coming from the left. Yes. There are a lot of things out here in this world. However, I have not seen a Web3 network and system dedicated to the standards of Yahweh Elohim, At Ravak HaKadesh, At Yashiva HaMashiach. So, I'm on a mission, and it is my solemn plea and request that while I'm building, it would be great for anybody else to come along and help add on, suggest, request, and so on and so forth. Because this is not a pipe dream, it is for real. This is not, oh, let's just go and find the next thing that looks like it's going to work because somebody else has made it happen. No, it's our terms and our way through Yahweh. We can work all the test models we want. However, eventually we do have to build our own. You see, there was a family where the head of household built a boat. That's why we're traveling on a boat and rocking and rolling on a boat. Because we found out as of a surety, as a matter of fact, there's an ayat that says, trust on the balance set by our Creator, the same way you know that you can get in a boat and navigate across these seas and oceans. Trust in the balance and the signs from Allah. Subhanahu wa ta'ala. All praises to our source of sustenance and mercy. The day has been great. Epigon? Shalom Aparati. Assalamu alaikum. Vladislav Nisov. Shalom Aparati. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to all of you. Thank you all for coming in and visiting in the party. We get together 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we talk about entrepreneurship and service in your community. The idea behind it all is we have a lot of people who are jumping up in each other's face, fighting. Everywhere there is war. Everyone wants to say that they are right. Everyone wants to say they are the most powerful in politics. Everyone wants to say they are the most upright. Everyone wants to say they have the best way. Very few people are standing up and saying, okay, there's the divine path. I walk the divine path. Anybody else want to walk the divine path with me? And if you do, let's work together and build. We have to get away from distractions. We have to get away from ignorance. Wake up every day. First thing out of your mouth after you breathe that first breath, because you were breathing the whole time you were asleep. That first conscious breath, before you even open your eyes. I come from Allah. I shall return to Allah. May Allah be pleased when I return. I mean, now you've already stated what your mission is for the day. Service to Allah. It's what the name Abdullah means. People mockingly say, oh, that means a slave to Allah. No, it means servant. Those who are upright or appear upright in service, they are who you would call the Muslims. They are the ones who live by the principles of Islam. So when we get together at that particular time of the day, 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it would actually be Maghrib, the third prayer of the day. So even though we get together and talk about entrepreneurship, we're also talking about the standards that are expected of anyone who practices Islam. Now, here in the modern days, People say, well, okay, well, if you practice Islam, then that would make you a Moor. The time of Maghrib also stands for Morocco median time in all points west. So when we're meeting together, we're also observing Maghrib. Yes, we speak on entrepreneurship. However, we're also speaking on what we're supposed to be doing to get this earth on a respectable reflection of the divine path instead of us being scattered. There may be a lot of people who get together and say that they represent something. However, it does not mean that they truly are. That's the idea behind ground floor intellect and a snarky mindset. Because when someone comes to you and tells you they are one thing, your mind is already analyzing and deciding for self if what they say is true. The words of your mouth, do they match your actions? And if I went and checked yesterday, do they match yesterday? Are your standards the same 10 years ago, 20 years ago as they are today? Have you improved throughout your lifetime? These are the concepts and the questions you ask. You see, I walk with the Sahaba, the oath takers, the ones who say, there is no one to worship, there is no one worthy of worship except Allah. La ilaha Allah. People want to add on things and take out things. But when you get done with it, La ilaha Allah, there is none worthy of worship. So that means that whatever Allah is telling me to do, that's what I need to be on. And then I was told that the Quran was sent as a reminder to follow the standards of those who are part of the Injil. The Injil is the lineage of the prophets and the families of those prophets. The Injil is the story, the law, and the history applied to that family. I've been taught, trained, and told that a Muslim gets their standards from Ishmael, who got his standards from Ibrahim, who got his standards from Noah, who got his standards from Methuselah, who got his standards from Adam. That's what makes a Muslim. Adam was the first caliph, the first representative, the first imam, because Adam was taught directly all of Yahweh's standards through Ruach HaKodesh. Walk through the cool of the day with the Holy Spirit. So when we conduct business or we conduct any kind of exchange amongst ourselves, whether it's commerce or just familial piety, we should walk with Basmalah, by the will of our Father. In the name of our Father, may this action be done. That's ground floor. Signed and sealed at the top of a document, and then put it at the bottom of it if you want to, but it's going to be there the same way you will see it at the beginning of a surah. If I can recite a surah the same way that I recite a psalm, and I'm saying in the name of our Father at the beginning of it, it's telling me what should be sealed on my heart. The love, which has become law, what is on my heart is the law. What is on my mind All right, I found my options. All right, so the camera's facing back the way it needs to. Mic is going in and out a couple of times, but we're back to where we need to be. I need to find my coffee cup. For every day that we get together, it's basically a khutbah. They say we should reserve a khutbah for Friday and Juma. However, that's not how my calendar works because I'm not on the Hijra calendar. This is a for instance. This is an example. There's a ninth month that does occur on the same cycle all of the time. Same period of the year, same season. Doesn't change. It doesn't go through spring and then summer and then fall and then winter. It's during the autumn equinox. It's the longest day and night of the year. That's when Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam would do a 30-day fast to study and worship. At the time, he didn't quite know the name of our Creator. However, he knew he was supposed to be away, fasting and learning. His desire was to become acquainted with our Creator. Reminds me of the story of Ibrahim. Go and sit on a hill and contemplate. Should I worship the sun and the moon since there are lights in the sky? No, they were hung there. Should I worship the wind and the rain and the other parts of nature that feed the animals and the plants? No, that was put in place for the balance of life. I need to worship our Creator because to everything belongs our Creator. People are so caught up on this 7-day existence because of the 7 days of creation. There's 28 days in a moon cycle. I put a question out there. On the 8th day, did our Creator invent bills? And there shall be bills after I've rested. What about the 9th day, the 10th day, the 11th day, the 12th day, 13th day, 14th day, 15th day, 16th day, 17th, 18th, 19th, 20, 21 through 28th day? Follow the marked signs of the moon. And then there's the fact that we also mark signs and times according to our sightings of the sun. And then once we get done with that, there are regular sightings of what happens with the stars in the sky. Because time is relative to a certain point on Earth, and that time would be different on any other planet, on any other moon, on any other surface of any other point of creation. Time would be different. What's happening with me right now is different from what's happening with you. The room I'm standing in right now is not the same room that you're standing in. We exist in the same room just because I'm sharing this live stream. However, no, we don't possess the same moment in time. Especially if you come back to watch this later and you're not in the midst of the live. People are so caught up in measuring the 7 days. There's 365 days. And then there's still give or take a day. The calendar that I would use starts the first of the year during the spring equinox. Prophet Muhammad would always fast during the fall equinox every time. The calendar I use would say the first month is Favardin, or in Persia, it can also be marked according to the zodiac schedule, which would make the first month Aries, what most people would call March. And by the time you get around the 18th or the 15th of March, there are certain Eids and festivals. So, where one emperor would be warned to watch out for the Eids of March, others are ushering in festivals, celebrations. Hazan, rejoice. That's the level I'm on. Building safe places for us to work, rest, and rejoice, which means I step outside of the limitations. I step outside of the choices and I look at options. Options turn into opportunities. Choices put you in a box. Boxes don't exist in nature. It's a man-made, manufactured concept. Silla. Did say I was gonna check the TikTok side of this broadcast at the midway point, and we're pretty much there. We've been going for an hour and 8 minutes. Yes. So, pardon me. I am about to switch over just to see what's going on. If the signal does drop for a second, please just bear with me. It will come right back. That's all part of the concept with rocking and roll, because this is a test of this broadcast system. If there were an emergency, there would be more information provided. This is only a test. So bear with me while I go and check the other side of the broadcast to see if there's any comments coming in from TikTok land. Because while I'm looking at the screen, I am limited to seeing the comments only from YouTube. So let's see what's on the other side. See, there's been 15 viewers in the room. 1,161 likes. Shalom Barak, Minister Stephen. Shalom Barak, Bold Servant. Shalom Barak, Akati Deborah. It's Tabah to see you all. Thank you for joining. It's very Tabah to see all of you. I'm gonna hang out on this side for a minute. If you all are still there, please put in some comments because now I do have my eye. I'm not gonna go back to the YouTube side for a minute. That was always the case. Most of the times, if I came in over here, there wouldn't be any activity. So now that I see you all are here, I do appreciate your presence. Very thankful. Ta-da. There's a few things that I've said that I was supposed to share out, and apparently I need to as soon as possible. One, the certificate documenting the copyright for hashtag vision, hashtag purpose, hashtag value. Is that it? Vision, purpose, value? Yes, yes, yes. Because it is actually stating that it belongs to Kahalet Kofi. And then I also need to share the certificate for Yahashua HaMashiach's Students Black Book, because that also is covered as an agreement between me and Kahalet Kofi. Bruder David, Shalom Barak. It's great to see you. It's Tabah to see you. And let's go ahead and do it. Let's put those green hearts and locks in the room. Yahava, Ahava, Ahava, Ahava. Yahava is love. Love is love. That makes compassion. That makes complete and total compassion. Brother David, your coin is on deck. Minister Stephen, if you haven't already made the move, your coin is on deck. Reach out to you in a text and make sure if you've received and received what I'm speaking. Because I mean that. Your coin is on deck. Brother David, your coin is on deck. I want you all to see just how busy I've actually been. Because like I said, for each of the special interest groups, there's supposed to be a coin assigned to. This includes Gold Before Diamond Productions. Deserves a coin. If I haven't already made one, I'll have to check. But it should already be there. Because that's part of the movement. I want you all to understand something. You can invest in Bitcoin. You can invest in Ethereum. You can invest in Dogecoin. They won't invest in you because you don't have anything for them to invest in. You can go and start your own coin through an established coin. And while you are investing in yourself, you are made available to be able to invest in other people as well as them investing in you. You become a producer instead of a consumer. That's what we're doing this for. We're not supposed to be at their mercy. They're supposed to be providing a pathway for us to be of service. And if they don't provide the pathway, we know what the pathway is supposed to look like. So that's when we get together as some doozers and start building. Do work. Ground floor intellect. You can either imagine it as the ground floor of a skyscraper, or you can see it as one hub with 10 annexes, 10 different ways you can go, 10 different directions. You can see it as an island with 10 communities who work together. You could see it as a giant tortoise raising up out of the sea, large enough to hold a civilization. And in the middle of that civilization is an antenna with a signal broadcasting a message to everyone who can hear. These are the standards and the ways of our Creator, and abide your life this way. CG Cali. Shalom Aparak to you. I want to thank everyone who's been tuning in YouTube land and also in TikTok land. Checking the front door. It's slamming back and forth because the screen is actually off the hinges somewhat. So I have to check every now and then to make sure that nobody's trying to pay a visit, right? So yeah, there's some coins that are on deck. I really like this track because it goes for a while, and that's all it's doing. We're not worried about investing in some larger corporation who is ignoring us. We're not worried anymore about trying to use some other site for our fundraisers. We can declare our own names and authorities as a financial institution. You can raise funds from your own shim. Buddha Charlie, I heard you mention that you want to start up a Zoom. I'm thinking of the same. We met in the middle of the road a couple of years ago on the same notion. Fake engagement policy under our community guidelines. All right. So apparently my broadcast on TikTok, trying to suspend it, which is cool. I'm going to go back to the YouTube side. I knew it would eventually come because even though I can't see the screen, I know they like to do the thing where you play picture pages and puzzles and matches, and I haven't done any of that in a while. It's been over an hour in this stream. So I'm going to go back to the YouTube side. Family, if you're still on and you can still hear me, that's what's up. And just know that I am working in the background and I appreciate everyone who comes in. Buddha David, you say you like to hear appreciate love instead? Well, there you go. There's a lot of different languages that I've picked up and don't mind throwing a couple of other words here and there when necessary. They say when you are in someone's kingdom, you speak their language as respect. So yeah, I'm gonna jump over back to the YouTube side. Don't know how much longer I'm gonna stay on anyway. We've pretty much chewed over the subject of what I wanted to present today. So I'm gonna get back over to the other side, make sure not everything is frozen up. Much love and respect. Yahava, Ahava, Ahava, Ahava. Our Father is love. Love is love. That's complete compassion. In Japanese and Chinese, that would be Ame and Ame Tofu. That's how we're supposed to be moving and walking. So I'm gonna jump over to the other side. I see you both serving. I see you, Akati Deborah. Jumping back over to the other side now. Much love and respect. All right. Still got two in YouTube land. Shalom and Barak to all of you. We're at the hour and 20-minute mark. This has been an actual very smooth broadcast. Alhamdulillah. And I am really digging this particular video. We're just listening to some lo-fi, and it's just doing a loop. Now, this is something that I can spend all my time doing all the time. It's just making tracks and posting videos like that. That's not mine, by the way. It's something I'm listening to. It is my desire to be able to do lo-fi tracks like that, produce lo-fi tracks like that. That's something that, for some reason, is not in my capacity. The sounds that I make are nothing like that. However, I enjoy listening to it. All right. 2 scoops of coffee and a little bit of caffeine. Can you buy me a cup of coffee? I'm asking softly. You screaming. I'm saying I'm coughing like a soul. Do you remember Bloody Roots? Sepulcher. That's some South American metal. Came back in the 90s. What you know about Arrested Development? Had a song called Tennessee. And then there's Soulfly too. Soulfly was the funkier version of Sepulcher. Biotech is Godzilla. Most people wouldn't understand how I go gorilla. I go realer. Then most would understand if I stood behind a tree while your brain is in embers. They're burning down the rainforest. Now, how much more can you get oxymoronic in this? My brain needs a chorus just for me to pause for a second and catch the next verse. Reverse and recite. No, you don't got the time because I'm on the site at all times. Recite a verse from the Quran. That's an ayat. Do it at least once a day. And then be thankful for what you got. Do this like Curtis Murphy. Or should I say Mayfield? Who's Murphy? Well, there is Keith Murphy. He told us about the most beautifulest thing in this world. It goes beyond the girlies. It goes into what's in your heart, your internals, your mentals. Some people wonder what a jihad is. It's your personal struggle. It has nothing to do with running up to a tank and blowing yourself up and them. Are you insane? Our creator never told us to, hey, here's your life, now take it away from yourself. No, that's up to him. His Imperial Majesty, the one who made everything. Lord over worlds, most merciful, gave us sustenance. The one who made the days, the yawn, the one who gave us the deen. We're forever thankful. Do you know what I mean? Alhamdulillah. I'm going to bid peace to the room. I thank all of you for spending time today. We get together 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time daily, except for Shabbat. For instance, tomorrow, we won't be on. Now, the next day, Sunday, as they say, we're going to have question and answer. So, yeah, I'll be on, inshallah, Adon willing. I'll be on, and we can walk through whatever stories that's on my mind. Plus, you're always welcome to ask any questions that's on your mind or grant some suggestions, things that you think ought to be put out there. You see, I'm a musician. I'm a musician. I'm an artist. I'm a promoter. So there are the things that I actually produce that I share with you all. And then I actually want to be able to promote or share the things that you do. Today's party is called #mood and #mode. I'm sure you can tell my #mood is always elevated as much as possible. And my #mode is somewhat like a lion. Most important though, my mode is angelic. My mode is discipline, because an angel is a messenger, and your discipline is what you do all day, every day. My Father's peace to everyone out there. Thank you all for stopping through. May you have a great day. Shalom Barak. Peace and blessings. Assalamu alaikum. Till next time. Many, many much respect.